Hello, my name is Miriam. I'm a second year student at the University of York. Well, I don't live in York. I live in a little town called Tring in Hertfordshire. Tring sounds like a phone ringing, but it is a real place. I live there. That's my mum. She was there yesterday. She can tell you it's real. Tring. Awesome. Today I'm going to talk to you about something I've called the Overflow Effect. Now, I was actually just reminded yesterday, last time I spoke, I also spoke about water and about getting your feet wet, so I don't know what's going on with the water vibe, but there we go. The Overflow Effect. This isn't a science lesson. I'm a drama student. I don't know anything about science. But the Overflow Effect is kind of the best way I can think to sum up what I reckon John might be getting at. Because we're looking at 1 John chapter 1, verses 1 to 4, so lots of ones. So, to start off with, I want you guys to think of an experience that's been really exciting in your life. In fact, I'm not going to kick that over. Whoa. Think about a time when something so cool's happened, you couldn't help but share it. You just couldn't keep it to yourself. Maybe it was when you passed a driving test, or got engaged, or met someone amazing, or got a new job, or saw something absolutely incredible that you just had to pass it on. So, quick table talk, literally turn to the person next to you like 1 minute, share one experience you've had that's just been too good to keep to yourself, you've just had to share it. Off we go. That was quite funny. I can already see people getting a bit like, oh, then this one! And it was really cool. Awesome. So let's relax on the excitement for a moment. Chill. Next slide. Now, when I asked myself that question, the first thing that came into my mind was when I climbed to the top of Table Mountain in South Africa. And this picture really doesn't do it justice, but I saw, this is what I took from the top of the mountain. So I saw this. I got to the top of the mountain. It had taken me 2 hours, well, about 1 hour and 45, which is quite good, but I was wearing really tight jeans and the steps were like this big, so it was quite a painful climb. Just wear baggy trousers if you're going to climb Table Mountain. And I got to the top, and I saw this. So the sun's about to set. You can see Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. There's a range of mountains that you can't see that stretches right the way along the back of the city, and then the city rolls down to the water. And there's mountain peaks below you with clouds on and stuff, and it was absolutely incredible. To stand on that iconic mountain and just be like, I am here. What did I do? I rang home. I went and sat on the tallest rock I could find at the edge of the mountain, so it was just me and the sky, and I picked up my phone. How's great reception on top of Table Mountain? And I rang my mum, and I was just like, Mum, you've got to experience this too. You've got to know what I'm feeling. You've got to know what I'm seeing. This is too good to keep to myself. I couldn't help but overflow and tell my mum what I was going through. And I think in the passage we're looking at today, that's a little bit like what John's doing. Now, on your tables, you've got the passage typed out on the kind of bluey paper, because I'm going to use, still from the Bible, but a different translation called the Message, simply because the message for this really captures that excitement that I'm getting at. So, if we just have a cheeky peek at the passage, it's also going to be on the PowerPoint now. Awesome, so I'll just read it to you. This is what I think John's going through. From the very first day, we were there, taking it all in. We heard it with our own ears, saw it with our own eyes, verified it with our own hands. The word of life appeared right before our eyes. We saw it happen. And now we're telling you in most sober prose that what we witnessed was incredibly this. The infinite life of God Himself took shape before us. We saw it, we heard it, and now we're telling you so you can experience it along with us. This experience of communion with the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. Our motive for writing is simply this. We want you to enjoy this too. Your joy will double our joy. Awesome. So John met Jesus. John travelled with Him, learned from Him, witnessed Jesus perform miracles, saw the crowds that flocked to Jesus and followed Him. John was there when Jesus was arrested and brutally killed. John was there when Jesus' body went missing and 2 of Jesus' female followers claimed He'd risen from the dead. John was there when Jesus showed up 3 days after he died in front of all his best mates, alive. John saw the scars on Jesus' body from where he'd been nailed to the cross and stabbed in the side. John experienced firsthand Jesus proving himself to be more than just a man. John experienced Jesus as God, which is what he means when he says, the infinite life of God took shape before us. John recognised that Jesus was God wrapped in flesh. Now that is a huge concept to get your head around. The idea that John actually met and experienced God through Jesus. What would you do if you were John? What would you do if you discovered that this God thing was real? That God exists and is knowable. So knowable, he actually walked the earth as a human, a man, who lived alongside other people and shared his life with them. What does John do? Verses 3 to 4. We saw it, we heard it, and now we're telling you so you can experience it along with us. This experience of communion with the Father and his Son, Jesus Christ. Our motive for writing is simply this. We want you to enjoy this too. Your joy will double our joy. John shares it. It's the overflow effect. He's experienced something so huge and incredible and life-changing that he cannot help but overflow and share it with others. Which I think is quite a fair response if you've experienced God. But hold on, is this just a John thing? Now, is this overflow effect exclusive for John because he actually met Jesus? The thing is, there's going to be some people here that are actually pretty much in the same boat as John. There are people here, most commonly known as Christians, although Jesus didn't actually ever use that label, who believe that when Jesus came back from the dead, he didn't die again. He is God, and he is still alive today, and he can still be experienced and still wants to be in our lives. Now, I know that not everyone's also going to be where John is, so I've tried to break it down into some stages so we can all have a go at figuring out where we're at and where we want to be going. Because this isn't just a passive thing, like, you can't hear about it and think, oh, that's nice, I'm just going to, cool. You can't take it or leave it, you have to make a decision. Because as John says, we saw it, we heard it, and now we're telling you so you can experience it along with us. This experience of communion with the Father and his Son, Jesus Christ. Oh, you're there, on it. So, let's have a cheeky look. What stage are you at now, and where do you want to go? Maybe you know what it means to know God and experience him. So maybe you already can't help but overflow and tell other people about it. Maybe you know God, but you don't know how to share it or why you'd even want to. Maybe you've never experienced God in that real, tangible way that John speaks about. And maybe you've never even considered that this God concept could be a real, living, loving power that wants to know you. So get a bit longer this time. Have a chat on your tables. Maybe you're at another stage. Figure it out. Figure out where are you and where do you want to be going. Off you go. Lovely. Okay, so where do we go from here? Now, we're going to play a track, awesome track, called Dare You to Move, which you may or may not know. If you don't know it, you will now, and you will love it. Whilst it's playing, I want to take this opportunity to dare you to move on what you've heard today. If you know what stage you're at now, I dare you to move forward, go further. I encourage you to pray. Ask God to give you that experience of him that we've just learned about today from John. Because the overflow effect comes from being so full up of the love of God that you cannot help but overflow with it. I challenge you to ask the people on your table, or the person sitting next to you, to pray for you. If something has got to you, if something has hit you in what you've heard today, I dare you not to leave it here, not to leave this room without telling someone, or without getting prayed for. And there's going to be people on the sofas afterwards that are there specifically to pray for you guys, so use them. Some of you may have pens, there are some pens on the tables. Feel free to take away the passage that's been printed out today. Keep it, chuck it on your wall, anything that's going to remind you about this. And also, feel free while the track's going on, to write anything down that comes into your head. Talk to God, see what he says back. Scribble anything down that comes to your head that you think, oh, that might not be me. Check it down. Maybe write down what stage you're at and where you want to be going. Challenge yourself. Get it down, it's a good way to remember it. So just feel free to do whatever you like. I dare you to move. Because in the words of John, we want you to enjoy this too. So we'll have to track and have some time.